Imagine having a reverse Yelp where we rate customers on their attitudes, manners, and how well they tip. What review would you leave? Her kids dropped the popcorn, so she asked me for a broom to let them clean it up themselves. I said it wasn't necessary, but she insisted that she wanted to raise them to be conscious of the fact that when they make a mess someone has to clean it up. Nice lady. 5/5. I thought the lady was going to end up going nuts for not getting the broom, but this actually turned out really wholesome. I wish the people that came to my restaurant could teach their kids like this. I stayed at an Airbnb in China and my host reviewed me. Google Translation. Very handsome big boy. I used to be a case manager for Airbnb and was regularly asked to audit reviews for violations of TOS. My favorite one, that I had to leave up BTW, was Greg and his wife were a lovely couple. Love to host them again. 5 stars. Greg wanted the review taken down. His wife wasn't on the trip. Face with wide open eyes and flushed cheeks. Oh snap. I love it. Profile picture fits. This girl was clearly having a bad day. She seemed really angry and upset. I tried my best to help, but there wasn't much I could do. I took her order, served her as usual. She got a call and walked out of the restaurant. I went to the table and found a $50 bill and a sweet little note about how her husband died and she really appreciates my patience. 5 stars. Best customer. You sound like a nice employee. You are a good person. Very polite but also incredibly awkward for some reason. Saying thank you 5 times. When the waiter sets down their drink. Waiting 20 minutes to pay. Because the waiter looks busy? If that's what you meant, I'm your customer. Same. But I also worry that if I wait too long for the check I'll be depriving some hungry customer a place to sit and eat. But I really don't want to bother the waiter if they look busy. It's a vicious cycle. Damn, this is me. I feel personally attacked. The lady who yelled at me on the second day of my first job over the price of milk can have a solid 1 star. Cause how dare you set that price. Came on opening weekend of one of the biggest movies of the year 5 minutes before the showtime and then was shocked they'd have to stand in line for their concessions. Then complained to management that they missed their movie. Like, what did they think was going to happen? Like we'd have a reserve placed in line for them because of their obvious VIP status as King Douchelord of this land? Brought infant to rated R movie, then complained that it was too scary and demanded a refund. 0 stars. Wish I could give 0 stars. Brought their 11 and 13-year-old to see Step Brothers and despite being told several times during the ticket buying process that it was a rated R movie and not appropriate for children, argued that it couldn't be that bad. Then after the scene where Will Ferrell puts his balls on the drum set, suddenly it becomes disgusting and awful movie. How could you sell us tickets to that? Real events inspire this post. I'll never understand parents who blatantly ignore movie ratings when taking their kids to the theater. Surely the staff of a movie theater and the fucking ratings board knows more about the movie than you do after taking a glance at the poster outside the building. Very friendly. Usually gets a root beer to start and a coffee after their meal, eats out on break from lunch daily. Usually wants quick service and minimal interruptions. Sometimes eats with a client. Usually tips well. Made many additional requests throughout the meal during peak dinner hour. Left the table disgustingly messy. Did not tip well. This guest is awesome. Likes to take suggestions. So offer a drink and make sure to have some lesser known dishes memorized. Will talk to you for as long as you let them. I would mostly try to let other waiters know what to expect from tables. Came in. Ordered. Ate their food in silence. Left minimal mess and a reasonable tip. Then buggered off. My perfect customer. 5 stars. This is my husband and I when we have a night out. LOL. We are usually too tired from the week and all our other obligations to be very exciting dinners. So we sit there quietly and send memes to each other. Then get dessert to go. Edit due to 2. True love. Drunken fool tried to return half bottle of booze because it tastes off. Watch him get in his car and promptly called police to report drunken driver. A customer walked in the front door of my very closed, curbside only pub today and asked if we had any steak. He had to ignore a giant sign saying please stay outside, we will bring your phone online order out to you. 0 out of 5 stars. I almost had a rage stroke. Edited to add. This is the second time he's done it. One of the regulars at the DQ did this too. The doors were locked but I'd try every day. Found out he had dementia. If it's an older man, he may have an excuse. Even if he doesn't know, can't remember. This guy is in his late 30s. Never mind then. Nice. Pleasant man. Always orders the same sandwich every time. Preparing for him simple despite the complicated sandwich. Tips well. Never talks longer it takes to complete his order. Also, the only male regular over 50 that doesn't leer at my underage coworker. 5 stars. Love this. On the other hand, came to dinner with his 14-year-old niece and their family. Was leery and flirtatious the whole meal. When I brought their check he asked, in front of their mixed age party of 7, "Can you do 3 ways? But I'm sure you get that all the time." 2/5. Because someone else at the table called him a pig and tipped me 25% at it. I don't know if it makes it better or worse. But I work in casual fine dining. The bills are between $100 to $300. Tipping 25% is not normal. That's why I was grateful. Lots of people tip more generously as steps of service and formality increase. I mean the nerve to say that in front of family. WTF. She lied about her hair history. Wanted white blonde in one session on her virgin dark hair that the strand test determined was a lie. Said she could do it herself at home. Turned hair orange instead. Came back to get a color correction and after explaining why she couldn't have blonde she said she'd settle for anything but orange and lighter than the dark. Gets a beautiful chocolate caramel color and cries because it's not blonde and too expensive. And also leaves no tip. -5 stars. Not worth my time. You must have met my mom. She was going through a rough time post-divorce. Had done a home bleaching alternating sometimes with the cheapest hair bleach at the cheapest stylist she could get to cover her grays for several months. Decided she wanted to go brunette once. My sister, in cosmetology school, said don't use the natural hair color you bought. It will turn your hair orange. Guess what? Emergency trip to the stylist after that for Mom Old McDonald. I'm sure it wasn't cheap that time. A guy, had this happen to me when I was about 16 and a goth. I'd grown my hair out and cut it into a sort of floppy mohawk. Dyed it blue black and then for some reason decided I wanted it lighter. Turned out bright orange. And not in a good way. Orange is not the color of the goth. Eventually, after rushing downtown really early and desperately hoping not to be seen by anyone I knew, another couple of experiments left it a mixture of colors from black through to white. Then it turned into dreads. I thought I looked cool as fuck but I probably looked a right knob. Ho hum. So I, 40F at the time, got accepted into the army later in life. Before I go do my basic training I shave most of my hair off and color it a nice light auburn. Good food and lots of exercise, maybe, and my hair grows very fast leaving me with mouse brown and grey roots. Best solution? Go to camp store and buy a highlight kit. Do my whole head in the dark bathroom of the shacks. Looked good to me. Apparently not so good to the instructors under the white lights of the classroom. The looks on their faces. I honestly had no idea that my hair had turned pink. Was lucky they believed me. Spent $70 to get it dyed properly and it still had tinges of pink according to them. Was very lucky I didn't get charged. Guy comes in the middle of the festival. No reservation. By car. And blames me because it took him 2 hours to go the entrance of the city to my hotel because there are 200,000 people walking around the streets. And police barrages to help the flow of pedestrians. Then he blames me again because he did all of this for nothing because we're full. What did he think would happen? Walking in with no reservation during the city's largest festival? 1 star. Would not recommend. Chap comes into the packed restaurant on Mother's Day. He's mad as hell because various local roads are shut and it took him an hour to get here. Instead of 10 minutes. Does not have a reservation. Has his whole family with him. His wife breaks down in tears. While he's yelling at me for not posting on Facebook that we are full for lunch. I get the wife and his mother a gin, while he rings restaurants to get a table. They finally leave and the wife hands me a tip. I believe they ended up waiting for a table in Nando's. 0 stars for him, 3 stars for the wife. Something says me that it's not the first time she has to run through such disappointment. Shouldn't we reserve a table on Mother's Day hour? It'll be fine. Sheesh. Just give him that special room that you secretly keep for important people. For free. Becky and Judy. 5 stars. After 2 glasses of Tempranillo, Judy is going to order a half glass. Ask if she went to physical therapy today for her shoulder. If she did, give her the full glass. Becky will wink at you. This is wholesome and I love it.